Alrighty guys, welcome back. Let's get stuck straight into it, hey? So first, we're going to start by checking our journal clearances. But before we do that, we're just going to chuck the oil feeder for the pistons straight in. And we're also going to chuck on this O-ring so we don't forget. Super duper important step, even for little screws like this, is we're going to blow out everything with air before we put any bolts in. So this one's less important because that goes into the oil gallery, so there's not going to be anywhere for the bolt to compress and crack the block. But for these ones, even though they're just a 10mm, look how close they are to our cylinder wall. We don't want them to crack. So what we're going to do is blow out every single hole and make sure we're actually good to proceed. Also, paper towel, wiping everything down before it goes back in. Alrighty, so now we're going to wipe down the journals. We're going to put some assembly lube on the bottom, and then we're going to start putting our bottom bearings in, and then we'll place the crankshaft, put the thrust bearings in, top bearings on the journal caps, and then we're going to use our plastic gauge, and we're going to test our clearances. Alrighty, so now I've got my bearings clearing plastic gauge in here, torque wrench set to 166 foot-pounds. Sorry, 166 Newton meters. It's pretty tight. So what I'm going to do is go around, just tighten in the sequence that the manual says. I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then I'll double check that. And then I'll keep going, just slowly tightening them in that sequence until I hit torque on every single one. Alright. Alrighty, they're all torqued down. So I'll pull them off and let's check the clearances. Alrighty, happy with those. Clearances are all good. Time to clean off the what's it called? The plastic gauge. Lube her all up. And then let's start putting this puppy together. Alrighty, so it got a bit messed up while I was talking her down. So main caps are all torqued down, all looking very pretty. The crank spins ever so smoothly. No grinding. The only noise I can hear at all is the liquid, the assembly lube that I've used. You can see she actually loves it. So now we're going to start doing the pistons, which means pulling the old pistons out and putting the new tops on, and then also checking the gap, the piston gap clearance on the top of the cylinders. So these are relatively easy. So you got a pin in here. I just put a little screwdriver in there and I'll lap it up. I'll show you on this side. Oh, it's gonna be quite awkward, but yeah, you see here, just go in there, get that like that. Oh, try not to lose those. And then once you've got both springs out of both sides, keep your springs safe. You're going to push this sucker out, and then the piston will come off the top, just like that. Not too bad. So just for fun, sorry about the filming, it's a bit all over the place. These pistons aren't bad. Put the pin back through, put that over there, just keep them all together. So we do have the new bushes for in here, but we'll see if we do them or not. Most likely not at this point, but let's get ready to assemble those new pistons on the top. So there's an arrow on all of the pistons which suggests which direction it goes in. As you can see, the arrow on the top here faces the letters on the back of the conrod. I guess the front of the conrod, however you want to look at it. So I've got the letters on this side facing towards me, which means I have the arrow facing like that. Put some assembly lube and stuff in here. I'm not doing the pin bushings because it's too much of a pain in the ass. And these ones are not in bad shape. So let's go. There it is. So obviously there's no rings in it yet. So I'm going to check the clearances on all the rings. But yeah, that is basically what you get. So the arrow will face the front of the engine like that. Obviously like that. So you got the new pin in, new piston. Your clips, you got to make sure are seated properly. See, that one I just found was not. That would not have been funny. So triple check all this now. Now's your chance to really look at these con rods and just check it out for any signs of damage. Because this is it. This is your opportunity to tell. This one looks fine. I'm gonna chuck her up there. The bearing that came off it has no damage whatsoever. So we're pretty confident that that's going to be fine. Cap's fine. All right. So now we're doing the clearances on these piston rings. So what you do, put the ring in there, use the piston to level the ring, because you obviously want it to be pretty good level wise. And you go ahead, find your feeler gauges. It's a funny joke. Here's some feeler gauges that I've got. Go into your workshop manual, find the clearances. I'll post them on screen here. So there's first ring, second ring, oil ring. Post all three, check the clearances. The first ring is supposed to be from 0.27 to 0.51 of a millimeter. Here I've got 0.3 of a mil. Oh, sorry, you can't see that. And you can see it is a little bit loose in there, so I could probably try 0.35. Yeah, so 0.35 is still a little bit loose. Let's go 0.4. Sorry, it's a bit hard one-handed. 0.4. There it is. You can see a slight grab. So yeah, it's literally right in the middle of where it should be. So that's good. So I'll put the what cylinder am I on? I'm on cylinder 1. I think, yeah, cylinder 1. So what I might actually do is go back, pull this back out, put it over here, double check it again, and then I'll put my piston back up on the mount, and we'll test the rings, put them straight on, and we'll do it in that order. The second compression rings clearances are between 0.42 and 0.66. Here I have a 0.60 and it's pretty snug in there. Yeah, it's perfect. It's actually a bit tight. So that'll be perfect. Also, make sure there's markings on all your rings. Make sure they're facing upwards on the piston. As for the oil ring, it's from 0.27 to 0.56. This one comes in right around 0.4, so that's perfect. I realize I've been doing these in the wrong order. You're supposed to start with the oil ring and work your way up. No big deal. I'm just going to take them off and do them again. Alrighty, when you've got that the ring compressor on, something soft, just tap her in gently. Don't put too much force into it. The last thing you want to do is break something now. So something's hitting. Just give it a jiggle. Jiggle. Make sure that's down good. There you go, she's back to compressing. Make sure she's down. There you go. There's your first one on. Just like that. Nice and gentle. You don't want to break anything. I've been in a position before with my dad where we kept snapping oil rings because we weren't using the proper tool. So we're actually using zip ties. But that's just the way we were doing it at the time. And even that's on there properly. I didn't put the bearing on. So I'm going to pull this back out, yahoo, put the bearing on, make sure it's lubed up. We're going to do one cylinder at a time. Take our time. Yeah. Alrighty, cylinder 1 is in. As you can see, she spins nice and smoothly. Back to top dead center. So now I'll do cyl 4. So I'm going to do them in sequential order. So cylinder 1 and 4, they're at the same position at the same time. And then I'll do 2 and 3 together. She's coming together. Bottom is not torqued yet. I've only just done up, put the bearings on, and just a light couple of ugga-duggers with my small impact. The smallest one I've got. So nothing tight, crazy tight. I will leave that for the torquing sequence. Alright, so everything I just did here, gapping the rings, redoing the piston, and checking the conrod, new bearings, everything I'll do times 4. And we'll go, there we go. All 4 pistons buttoned on. Now I'll flip her over and we're going to torque them down. Everything's looking pretty good though. Everything spins freely. Spins nice. Yeah, not bad. So yeah, turn her over, torque them up. Alrighty, everything's torqued down. I'm going to jump it and I'm going to knuckle the sump on. I've just given the sump a bit of a clean up. Got all the old gasket, liquid gasket off. Gonna smack some new red liquid gasket on the bottom and we'll be laughing. Alrighty, so I've got that all buckled down. So now I'm gonna flip the engine over and we're gonna start. Actually no, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna mount 2 more mounting points so the engine's much more secure. And then I'm going to flip it around, start playing with the timing gears. Alrighty, sump's on. I've got the back of the timing case on. All the bolts are torqued up. I put, there's a metal gasket that goes behind the whole thing, and then I've also put gasket sealer as indicated in the rebuild manual. Basically just on the joins of where the sump hits the block and then joins to the back of the timing case. It's all looking pretty groovy. Next up, I'm going to smack the oil cooler on and then I'm going to start timing up the gears. I couldn't get 2 more mounts on there, so this is really not how I like it. So soon I'm actually going to pull forward, get the engine on the stand and redo the mounts entirely so that I can get them exactly how I like them. It just struck me that I've just been plodding away for an hour or 2 without recording anything I've done. So, remounted the engine on. I fitted the rear main seal, real bastard. Fuel pump has been fitted, mostly. I haven't put the top nut on yet. Main idle scissor gear is on, so I could remove that at any point. Crankshaft gear is obviously in. Then we got the oil pump. That's an idler gear that helps the vacuum pump and the other little pump, whatever it's called, power steering pump go. Everything's torqued down on the front timing case. All the silicon's in place. I'm going to leave the front timing case off for a little while so that I can fit the head fully. So I'm going to fit the head. It'll just give me more access for the timing chain, which is going to be a fun time for everyone. Fuel pump's on. I also fitted this little bracket which goes in behind the fuel pump. Everything's looking pretty groovy at this stage. So yeah, now I'm going to start going ahead and fitting the head. Alrighty, so I just put the head on, head gaskets are on, bit of gasket seal where the manual specifies. Now, time to torque down the head bolts. So there's a sequence. So this here is the sequence in sequential order. So 1, 2, etc. So you torque them all down to 70 Newton meters of torque. And then you want to go so first step, everything in the order that that manual just said, to 70 Newton meters of torque. Second step, plus 70 degrees. Third step, plus another 70 degrees. So all up, you'll have gone 140 degrees past 70 Newton meters in 2 steps of 70 degrees. So let's get that done, shall we? There it is. Head torqued down to spec. Lovely. Alrighty. What now? A couple of 12 mils to the front here. I think there's one down there. Down in that hole right there. And then I think I'm going to start on the timing chain. Rockers, cams. Alrighty, so I just realised I've gone another couple of hours, maybe an hour or two without recording anything. Probably a sign I should maybe ease up for today. So basically, we've gone from a painted bare block to almost far out, almost a complete rebuild. So the whole bottom end is done, top end is done, head's fitted, cams are fitted, timed. Ooh, that could have been fun. Just dropped a screw deep down into the darkness. The only issue would have been if it got into the sump, and even then I could have probably blown it to come out the bottom of the sump, so that wouldn't be a problem. Screws out. So that's the scissor gears for these cams. You can see, can you see? Yeah, you can just see in there, they're timed up. So you see those marks on those teeth all timed up, and can you see anywhere? Can you get an angle on those ones? I don't know, let's test how good you are. Those three there, they're all timed up. So basically this head is timed. The bottom end is timed. Now it just needs the actual timing chain kit, which is here. I haven't had a good look at it yet. I can only see 2 marks, which makes me think the bottom mark isn't there. The mark that lines up with this here, that little dot. So not sure what's going on there. I might even get my old chain. Let's have a look. Have a looky. So that's only got 1 mark. Does it? Yeah, it does. So that's only got 1 mark, so that doesn't help me with anything. So last thing I'm doing today, not that. Last thing I am doing today is timing up this chain. And that'll be it. Then I'll take a break, go to work for a few days, pay off some of the debt that I've got myself in building this thing. Let me tell you, ute included, I've spent way more than the ute is worth. Maybe, I think. So I'll tell you figures later on. I've actually got a spreadsheet where I've tracked every single thing I've spent, including most of my consumables. So we'll go through that together and we'll talk about the financial viability of something like this and if it's even worth it. But let's get this timing chain fitted up and we'll go from there. Alright guys, the moment has come. The head is torqued down. This here, the top of the, timing chain is on. Timing chain guides are in. Tensioner is in. It's looking really good. Everything's on, so you can see there's a mark here. That's where one goes, and a mark on the top here. Then there's marks on the 2 gears and behind. Then 2 gears and behind. Obviously there's marks on the scissor gears. To keep, so the fuel pump, timing doesn't matter for the fuel pump itself, but it does matter for the timing of the top end because it times off that gear there. What else? And we got the crank gear, which you can't really see because it's, but it is timed. Idler gear and then oil filter. What have we done today? The whole bottom end, the sump, the head, timing, cams. Today we have basically built the entire engine. I also fitted the fuel pump. incredible progress. I thought I was only going to get the bottom end done today, but it turns out I got the whole thing done. It's also been about an hour since I filmed last, so there's been 3 hours where it's just been lazy filming on my part, which is a good sign that it's time to stop because I'm cracking too far into it. But loving it. Hope you're loving it. If you like this stuff, subscribe. If you don't, I don't know why you're still watching. See you later. Finndawg out.